from somewhere deep. We heard the sound, it was bittersweet. Voices calling out from an aching heart, getting so much closer by staying apart, singing a song of hope and love that we you heard when I heard. I feel what you feel. We will survive. We will stay strong. Love is the word, and hope is the song. The streets are empty, but the sky is clear. You want somebody and can't have them near. Taking shelter where you can when the world is at stake. Alone together, trying hard not to break. Singing a song of hope and love that will heal. You heard when I heard. I feel what you feel. We will survive. We will stay strong. Love is the word, and hope is the song. A song for the lonely, the tired and the weary. A song for the broken, the mighty. Can you hear me? Get beyond our pride and greed. Share everything that we need. We won't be ignored. We will be restored. Singing a song of hope and love that will heal. You heard when I heard. I feel what you feel. We will survive. We will stay strong. 'Cause love is the word, and hope is the song.
It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Amp Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free 888-994-4995, Studio A right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
Welcome to the afternoon show, as Freddie would say. I've got one of our producers, Alisa, keating, filling in for Freddie. He's not feeling well today, so Freddie, feel better. Yeah. We miss you, but our crew is doing amazing. We're all set up and getting ready to go for Thursday night, and we got a lot of great information for you today. Happy Monday, everyone. Welcome to our midday show. Give us a call to chime on in, 888-994-4995, Studio A. How was your weekend?
It was good. After I got over my food poisoning, it was
What happened?
sailing. Honestly, I don't know, because I didn't eat anything different, but I tried a new sauce that I got on my food, and Wednesday I went to bed, my stomach was like hurting a little bit, and then I woke up Thursday, and it felt like World War III just kind of took off in my stomach. So I kind of let nature do its thing, and then Friday and Saturday it was just kind of like a steady stomach ache, but we're all good now.
And that would be Richard in the background, yes. We got Richard Sosa, who's always so sympathetic to the cause. I hear that over there.
I think it's the World War III that got you.
That was great.
What sauce do I?
I got new buffalo sauce, but it was a different brand than I usually get. So I want to say that's what did it.
At least it wasn't a restaurant where shall remain nameless on the buffalo sauce.
Yeah,
You keeping? You threw it away.
I threw it away.
Oh my gosh. Well, welcome back.
Thank
I guess there's a
you.
lot of people that are out sick. So for everyone who's out sick, just take care of yourself, get better, because we're about to run into fall and there's a lot going on. We've had a lot on the agenda to talk about. Freddie, you got to feel better. But bless you as he sneezes on the truth. I got to go to Movies of Del Rey Saturday night and I saw Sound of Freedom. And I can't even, I have to say, because I got Richard Sosa and Frank Rufollo with us. Frank, you wrote this book how long ago?
I'm going to say around 2017, 2018.
17, something like that? Yeah.
Yeah,
You know
right
what?
after Rose died, about
Yeah.
2018.
And back in that day, in 2017, I did not even know human trafficking was a thing, let alone in the United States, especially in Broward County.
Oh wow.
No idea what was going on.
Yeah, Broward County is one of the, I don't know when you call it a hub.
Hotspot?
It's a hot spot, yeah.
Yeah, and the United States is the largest market in human trafficking in the world.
And I know you guys are working to create this into a movie,
We are trying.
but we got to see Sound of Freedom, and I know you both saw it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And as I was talking to you before the show, I think the difference was it's the father's perspective of what it feels like. And only a father knows what a father knows. You know,
Right.
a woman's perspective as a mom is totally different. It's not that you love your kids any differently or any less, but the emotion is the same, but
Yeah.
yet it's different.
It's the way we respond
Right.
to a crisis. I think that as a dad, your first response is, not, oh my gosh, I hope they're okay. I mean, you want them to be okay, but your first response is, oh my gosh, I have to go and protect my kids. I have to do something about it. I have to get them back. And so, like Frank had said earlier before the show, when the dad's response when he found out that the kids were, oh my gosh, I'm getting chills. When he found out that the kids were missing, and he didn't know what to do, because his first instinct is the safety of his kids, the protector, and now he couldn't protect them. So you feel powerless.
Powerless, right?
And for a dad to feel that way,
Hopeless.
oh my gosh, yeah,
The
no.
helplessness, and you could just see him in the streets, and you look at his financial plight of where he was, and this was only to try to help give them some opportunity, give these kids a better opportunity than they had financially. And then you think, if it were you, would you have left the kids in the hotel room? Would you?
Yeah.
And that's a whole other thing.
I would not have.
But then you think, well, maybe it's different.
I don't think I would have left them there, but
But culturally, is it different? I don't know, right? In Guatemala, I think it was.
The culture, as far as that goes, the culture may be different, but the dadness is not.
The human response is the same.
Yeah.
But one thing I'd have to say, though, the main trafficker that was involved was a celebrity
Yeah.
down there. So I guess the celebrity status may have made him feel a little bit safer. Whether
Right.
that should have been that way or not. But
Right. We don't know
Never
that
really
as the viewer until
Yeah.
later in the movie,
know
and you're
that as a
thinking,
viewer,
what was going on? Did the hotel know anything? Tracy, I don't know if you saw the movie, so I don't want to ruin it for you. But the father's response to what happened.
right,
Yeah.
it was just
I remember when my boys, I have twin boys, and they're older now, but when they were 12 years old, one of them called me and said, "Hey, there's some kids at the park that are threatening us," and one of them said that he was going to go home and get a baseball bat and finish the job. So I dropped what I was doing, and I was heading to the park, and I called 911, and I said, "This is what's going on. You better get there before I do, because if I get there first, there's going to be a real issue."
That's
sure
the
enough,
Latino
I pulled-
father in you, right?
Yeah, I pulled up, and here comes the police cars.
Why do you think that dads want to like jump to protect first? Like moms, I feel like they're more nurturing, but dads want to like get in the middle of it. Why do you think that is?
I think it's in our DNA. I think we're just programmed that way.
That's from the Neanderthals, and that's what the man's role and the woman's role. It's all, like he said, it's all programmed. That's what it's supposed to be. You know, it's what we're supposed to do.
Right, you go back into the day, Dad went out and they were the hunters and the protectors, and the women were the gatherers, right? The
Yeah.
nurturers, the moms.
Yeah.
And as empowered as we are now as women, it's still a different feel. The dads are still the protect. And as a mom, I think, what would my response have been? It would have been the helpless, the powerless, but I don't know if I would have left them in the situation, because I'm like this crop duster, and when even now it's hard. My kids are grown, to let them learn what they have to learn.
Yeah, and you know what? Sometimes as a parent, that's the toughest thing, is to see your kids making a mistake, knowing that there are going to be consequences. Now, what happened in the movie, that's a whole other level, right?
But
of
him, and
consequence,
Frank,
but-
this comes back into all your writings, the Tom Matteo, the medallion, spiritual intervention.
Yep.
That's what I was embracing in my head and wrapping my head around. And I'm like, I have to talk to Frank about this medallion. Was that a St. Timothy? Because then I have to look it up. Who was Tom Matteo? I guess it was St. Timothy. Is I think who they were referring
Timoteo
to,
would be
is
Timothy, yeah.
Timothy.
right?
Timoteo? Yeah.
Yeah, Timoteo is Timothy.
So when you saw that, what did you think? As our spiritual ambassador.
Well, everybody tends to go to that place in times of trouble. So it's a relief. It's a place of security. And it's when we go there and we have people have different things that represent security. Him was the medallion, Timoteo. Other people have a different, Moses or whoever they are, or whatever, a saint or whatever they follow, and whoever angel they follow. That's part of their security. It helps them cope with something that's not copable.
The interaction between the siblings, so that's what got to me, I guess, as a mom, because that is this innate bond that even as a parent you don't realize the bond your children have with each other until you see the bond they have. I watch my kids. My daughter moved to D.C. My daughter-in-law went with her. My son is going next week to make sure everything is in check. I didn't go. Her dad didn't go. But as a bond, the siblings, what that is. And you've got a lot of siblings.
Yeah, I have 3 older, and I can definitely relate to that because me and my sister, we are 6 years apart. Hated her, absolutely hated her until I was 15.
Nice.
And then something just switched, and I'm like, okay, like you're not that bad. And now I have the nickname that I'm her shadow because we're like conjoined at the hip whenever we're together.
But you know what that bond is like if someone is heaven forbid, sick, or something happens, or they're really in a great place, what that feels like for you.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like siblings, like, you're related, but I feel like they're built-in best friends at some point. Because I'm so much younger than all my siblings, so we couldn't relate for the longest time. But as I got older and they went through everything that I was now going through, I'd call my oldest brother, hey, I'm really stressed with, like, college, like, this is going on. He goes, like, just take it easy, like, you'll be fine. And, like, obviously my sister, she's like, Alisa, come on, get it together. Like, you've got it, don't worry. And I'm like, lifesavers, really.
But that I loved, just the whole relationship. But I want to ask you guys, the script, the conceptual idea of presenting human trafficking. How did that resonate? What did that feel like to you compared to the book and everything Rose had shared with you and her visions?
She wanted to get oh my gosh, what's his name again?
Ashton Kutcher.
Ashton Kutcher, yes. She wanted to try and get Ashton Kutcher involved in the project. Unfortunately, she passed before she was able to really do anything with it. But she just had always had a heart for that kind of thing, and that's why she wanted to start doing the film. And then she got stuck at a certain point and asked Frank to finish it.
I finished the screenplay. She had interviewed people that were actually involved and made it out of human trafficking. And the instances in the book basically are a fictionalized account of what they actually went through. And the book is, aside from Sound of Freedom, which is South American human trafficking, basically, the book takes place here in the United States. And it centers more on an aspect of human trafficking that people don't really realize, and that's organ harvesting. So that's what we try to show, that it's not, human trafficking is not just sex, or it's not just exploitation of young children for sex or drugs or work, enslaved work, but people are taken and disappear because of the price put on organ harvesting.
That's the only thing that I'm wondering, if, because it was South American human trafficking, if it didn't hit home enough to the U.S.
Well, there's been a lot of critiques on the movie saying that was great, but something should be done to show what's happening here.
That's my only take, because a little bit removed is a little bit removed. It's like you think, oh,
Yes.
it can't happen here. And they briefly, did you see it?
No, but I've seen clips of it.
They briefly brought it here as some of the pedophiles, but it was just brief. You wouldn't know unless you had read the caption of where it took place.
Well, what's also happening now is a lot of the cartels that were into drugs are now into human trafficking, because there is no investment. I mean, if I'm going to do a hypothetical, I don't know the exact figures, but I mean, if you buy a kilo or a couple of kilos of cocaine, it's going to cost you $20,000-$30,000, and you'll be able to sell it for $60,000 or $70,000 on the street. Human trafficking costs you nothing.
Yeah, and you keep selling them over
And
and
you keep
over and
selling them
over.
over and over
You know,
again.
That's
6,
what
7,
they say.
8, 9, 10 times a day.
You sell them over and
it's,
over.
It's ridiculous.
You know, and then I definitely think there needs to be a U.S. hit-home movie about this, because I think people need to see it's right here, because they're not going to take from South America here unless
Right.
you're of a Hispanic culture and that resonates with you, which unfortunately the human mind, we've become so desensitized to life outside of our bubble, which is a sad commentary on what it is.
Right, and the
Yeah.
book also exposes that just because you may have a judge and jury, you're not going to get justice, because there are a lot of people in that power who are also involved in the human trafficking.
And here's another thing, and I've been thinking about it. I've been meaning to talk to you about it, actually, about maybe including it in the script somehow, is streaming services. You've got a lot of things like TikTok and what is it, OK.ru, or some of these other things, where you've got these kids that are on their own doing stuff in front of the camera that attracts the wrong kind of people, and there needs to be something in place. Now, I know that a lot of these services, you know, when they find the stuff, they take it down, which is great. But I think that there needs to be a lot more awareness with parents. I think parents need to control more what a lot of these kids are doing, because they don't understand what they're doing and the consequences of what they're doing. They don't get it. They're 6, 7, 8 years old, which is crazy, and they're doing all kinds of stuff on there, you know, up to and including, you know, stripping down and doing all kinds of other stuff. And that puts them in a situation where these predators go in there, they make like they're other kids, and they lure them away from their home, and then guess what? You know, then now they're trapped in a situation they can't get out of.
And you're right, they don't know.
Yeah, I feel like in America, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I genuinely think this. I feel like a lot of Americans are arrogant in the sense that they think that it can't happen to them.
Absolutely.
Not that it won't happen, but it can't because it's them. And I feel like here, everyone's almost on a pedestal in the sense like, okay, I come from this class, I have this, this, and this, I'm untouchable. But then you go to a different country, we can just stay with like Latin America, and they can have the same economic status and everything, but it still happens to them.
Mm-hmm. And I think so many people want to have kids, but nobody wants to be a parent.
Yeah.
and parents have to make the tough choices.
It's not
These
easy,
kids
yeah.
don't know. So parents have to tell these kids, no, that's not right. You can't do this. You can't do that.
Well, you've
Yeah.
got grandkids. Frank, you've got grandkids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Social media, not even your generation, right? The younger generation, are any of them on social media? Frank, your grandson's like 7, 8, 9?
10, 11? No, they're not on social media.
How about
Yeah.
your
My son
grandkids?
doesn't have them on social
He
media.
doesn't.
Yeah,
How old are your
mine
grandkids?
are 10, 9, and a year and a half.
Social media?
Very restricted. Very restricted. My boys don't play. They don't play.
Tracy, you have grandkids? Okay.
No kids, no grandkids.
I don't have grandkids yet, and I think about what it would be like. But then you think about the parents who are working 2, 3 jobs because the economy's so tough. And the kids are at school until at least 6 o'clock in aftercare. Not because the parents don't care, but they're trying to put, I heard today, parents are, do we get our kids a haircut, or do we get them lunch for school? Do we get them notebooks and school supplies for Thursday, or do they get a haircut? They're trying so hard. How do we do it all now for the next generation?
And see, I get that. Trust me, I get that. Been there, done that, right? But it doesn't cost anything to put parental controls on cell phones. It doesn't cost anything to put parental controls on a computer or a laptop or an iPad or whatever it is that these kids are using. They can do that, but they don't want to because
They want to be
maybe-
friends instead of
Yeah,
parents.
they want to be friends with the kids. They're afraid
You
of,
think?
of
Yeah.
losing the kids' approval, or well, Johnny's parents let him do this or that or the other. Why don't you? You're mean and this and that and blah blah blah, and I guess they're afraid of that. I didn't care when I was raising my kids. They could say that I was mean all they wanted, and I was like, no, I'm not mean.
Well-
I'm looking out for you
Think it's
because I
different
know.
if you're raising boys versus girls, grandsons versus granddaughters.
Oof, yeah, boys and girls are very
Boys and
different.
girls are different.
Yeah.
I'm just lucky that when my kids were in high school and got out of high school, there were no cell phones. So
Yeah.
And I had no cell phones.
beepers,
growing
they
up.
had beepers so we can get in touch with them. So they had to call back, but they didn't have a cell phone.
And now it's
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah,
You
it
guys
is.
are part of this generation, but think
Yeah.
about even the next generation.
The next generation, I'm like genuinely scared for. Like, I have a nephew, and I tell my sister all the time, I'm like, please do not let him like end up with one of these kids.
So what does
because
she do?
I don't know like her like formative plan, but she already is very good at like keeping him on a schedule and all that. And I'm like, you need to like keep him on that. And when he does get a phone, I'm like, please do not give him like
Yeah.
any like social media, because when I was in high school, maybe like an 8th grader, 9th grader, I had an Instagram. My mom thought I was too young for it, so she made me instantly delete it. I didn't get it for years after. And like at that age, kind of like how you were saying, you didn't want to be like labeled as like mean or anything. My parents were mostly the same way for like
Yeah.
a lot of stuff. And like as a teenager, I was like, come on, like that's not fair. Like all my friends, like this, and that. And now looking back at it, I'm like, y'all kept me alive and kept me on like that straight path. So I think you need to like definitely have a balance for sure.
Yeah. You as a parent, you're there to guide the kids, not to give them whatever they want. Because you give them everything that they want, it's not always going to be good for them.
Yeah, that's where like the problems root from, because from a young age, the kid instantly thinks that they're entitled to have everything handed to them. And that's like the worst thing that like can happen to a kid.
But the human trafficking, it's tough.
Yeah.
The whole concept, everything he did for them, the support of the government, how you saw different cartel characters change their viewpoint on life. I don't want to give it away, but that was one of those moments of, wow, people can change. They can have this epiphany
Yeah.
of life changing.
And with Stuck in Traffic, the cartel that we're dealing with is government officials and people in the judiciary system.
And upstanding people in the community
Yeah.
that you would not
Religious leaders.
think are the bad guys.
So do
Yeah.
you think that's why it took them 5 years to get this movie out? Was all the political red tape that
I
they
think
kept hitting?
it took them 5 years because there's too many people in power in different areas that are involved. and did not want it released.
So there are high-powered officials that are, I don't want to say benefiting from this, but somehow not everyone's on the same page. Is that what you're finding?
Yeah, probably not. In fact, on the way here, Frank and I were talking about Mel Gibson and the 4-part documentary that he's doing that's going to be exposing a lot of people. And you know what? Hats off to him, because it's ridiculous, and I can just imagine the blowback that he's going to get.
Well, he's pretty controversial now anyway, since the last movie he did about Jesus and everything. So
Yeah,
he
the Passion of
raised
the
a lot
Christ, and
he raised a lot of controversy back then.
yeah, he did. This, yeah, people are going to be going
Is
crazy.
it on human trafficking that he's doing?
He's doing a documentary.
Yeah,
On about human trafficking?
yeah,
And he said he's
Interesting.
going to expose
people.
people.
Wow.
He's going to be naming names.
Ooh. Wow.
Yeah, good.
Sometimes you
Good.
just got to call it out. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
say a prayer for Mr. Gibson.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. He's already, we'll see what happens with that. Interesting. Well, hopefully when this becomes a movie, and Denise Marsh, the new host of Gypsy Soul, is reading it. She came in the other day with it dog-eared. And she sets her alarm, she said, because she can't read too much in one. She will not allow herself to read too much in one day. She said it's intense. She wants to make sure she's reading every word and not missing anything just to get through it. So she times herself and how much she can read a day, because
Yeah.
she really wants to be immersed in what she's reading.
Yeah, we've actually talked about making it a series as opposed to a movie, because there's just so much stuff in the book
Interesting.
that, you know, because how many pages is that book? 200 and something?
Probably.
Whoops. Over 300. 300
Oh, over 300 pages.
Yeah.
Okay, so
315.
so when you're doing a script, you're taking a 300-page book and you're condensing it to 90 pages.
Yeah, and I did that backwards. I took a 90-page script and made a 300-page book.
Yeah.
Never going back.
So there's a lot of stuff in the script that is not going to be in the book, and there's so much stuff that we want to get out.
A lot of stuff in the book that's not.
I mean,
in the
yes,
script.
yes. Yeah, I said that one backwards.
So a series, instead of putting it in 90 minutes, it gives you
Yeah,
time
because
to really...
we've had people look at it. In fact, we've had a person look at it that used to be in law enforcement in
Border Patrol.
Border Patrol and stuck in human trafficking, and he said there's a lot of stuff in here that needs. He goes, you should be making this into a series, because you've got so much stuff in here that's not in the screenplay.
And there's still a lot of stuff that we need to put in.
Yeah.
Still a lot of stuff that we need to put in.
All right,
so-
Frank, tell everyone where they can get a copy of this book.
You can get a copy of this book right here in this studio,
Right here.
if you want, or on Amazon, or you just contact me at frankarufollo@gmail.com, and I can get you a copy.
All right, we're going to take a commercial break. More to come. We're going to talk to Tracy Leschinky, NP to you, talking about pain relief right to your door and not necessarily pain pills. So more to come. Stay tuned. Freddie, feel better. We'll be right back.
Do you have an idea for a show or a podcast? Do you want the opportunity to be on TV? Amp Media Productions is partnered with True Oldies Real Radio Station and powered by many online platforms such as Roku, Facebook, YouTube, and even Amazon Fire to help amplify your impact. Do you want your voice to reach a wide audience? Call us today at 866-224-5422.
There is no way to ignore it. You hear it on the news, online, from your friends and family. What happened to my money? Whether it got hit by falling stocks and bonds, with the coronavirus, shrunk by a floundering 401k with low interest rates, and is riding the extreme ups and downs of the stock market with political elections. Many Americans are worried about their money and how they're going to retire. Help protect your financial future now and call J.D. Melberg for your complimentary book from a leading financial firm that shows you ways not to run out of money whether the market goes up or down. This free book reveals little-known truths about annuity strategies in simple-to-understand terms that can protect your money for a lifetime. As a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report summarizing the rates and benefits of annuities from hundreds of top-rated insurers, helping you to find ways to get up to 33% more income in retirement. That's right. 2 books, both absolutely free, for calling J.D. Melberg. Help protect your financial future.
Call 877-643-3015.
Le Sorel Restaurant.
home of the authentic Italian tradition, offers a large menu that consists of seafood, steak, homemade pasta, brick oven pizza, and homemade desserts including a wide wine selection. We also have the best bar in Boca Raton with delicious cocktails, homemade limoncello, cappuccino, Italian espresso, brandy, and other specialties, open every day with a lunch and dinner menu. For more information or to make a reservation, contact lesorelrestaurant.com or call 561-235-5301.
South Florida's Good Time Oldies. Now, Boca and Delray Beach have their own oldie station. Catch us on 95.3 FM. It's the greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s. On South Florida's Good Time Oldies, 95.3 FM.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
You're not just one damn thing.
I like that. 3, 2, and repeat. That should keep me on point there, Alisa.
Of course.
So we're gonna. Nice job, everyone. Thank you so much. Stuck in Traffic. You can get all of Frank's books here, and we talk about all his spiritual books, but this one definitely it's a must-read. Bring awareness. Check out that movie and stay for the message at the end. Don't leave before the credits are over. And you can pay it forward on the movie Sound of Freedom. You know, I didn't even realize what the Sound of Freedom was until you see the movie, but it's the voices of children.
Yep.
And that's what it's all about, is what do the voices of children sound like to you, whether it's playing in the yard, a birthday party, laughing, and music. That is the sound of their freedom. Things that we all take for granted
Yeah,
in this world.
definitely.
But
God's
not-
children cannot be sold.
Amen.
Yep.
Things that we should not take for granted. So we're going to talk more about the books, and we also have a big event coming up this Thursday. You want to talk about that, Alisa?
Yes, so we are doing an art show, and thank you, if I go off the top of my head, the expressions of our art show at the Sunscape in Boca, and the proceeds are going to go back to the Walk to End Alzheimer's, and if I'm not wrong, the artists, part of theirs gets donated too.
If that's what some of them are choosing to do, which is really nice.
Yes, you should definitely come out, support a good cause, see some art, and have some fun. I know we'll have JC Dreesen singing and Megan.
We got a lot of great things happening. It's at Sunscape Boca Raton, which is a brand new, beautiful, you got to go,
I will definitely be there.
assisted living memory care facility that is not even opened yet. I'm hoping they're going to open in the next 4 weeks or so. Right on Boca Rio Road, south of Glades, between Palmetto Park and Glades Road, next to the Falk Center for Counseling. So if you see the Falk Center, turn right in there. Otherwise, you went too far. It's amazing, and they're having, in honor of Boca Festival Days, they're joining Sunscape with Walk to End Alzheimer's. So all ticket proceeds, just like you said, go back to Walk to End Alzheimer's.
Yes.
And we've got, I think, about 14 artists that are going to be there, and some of the artists have decided that of the proceeds that they bring in, they're going to donate 20% back to Walk to End Alzheimer's. And on top of that, there's going to be great food, a lot of drink brought to you by Sunscape and the incredible voice of JC Dreesen and Megan Folk. Josh, we got to figure out how we're going to get their sound. We didn't even talk about that. He's throwing up his hands. So we got to figure out how we're going to capture their sound. But on top of that, we're bringing all of our Thursday night productions from Amp Media Productions over to Sunscape. So you're going to have the Artist Loft with Richard and Frank at 5:30. At 6:30, you're going to have All County, You and Your Doctor with Louise Gomez. Laura, Making Money with Laura Sanders is going to be at 7. And then Mike Velarde, he's interviewing a new candidate that's running for Miami-Dade Sheriff. So a whole lot of things going on there and a lot of great networking. It's all about bringing our community forward. And our crew, you guys done an amazing job at putting this out.
Oh yeah, a lot of it I have to give to Grace. After the JC show, when she came in, she really got on this right away. So Grace, if you're seeing this whenever you come back, thanks for the help.
We got a lot of things happening. You know, summer people go away, and I can't believe school in Palm Beach County is actually starting on Thursday. Summer is officially. It's not over because it's 110 degrees outside, but for the kids, they're going back to school and school supplies. So if you have the ability to donate some school supplies to your local school, or even just to drop a bag off for them, they're well in need. And they will always need crayons. I don't even know if kids use pencils anymore. I know everyone's using laptops and spirals.
My brother said that the
Yeah.
Walmart up by him already has Christmas decorations up.
Yeah, Josh was talking about that the other day. What is wrong with us?
Don't let it distract you.
Thank you.
It's still the hottest month of all time.
We're still in summer. Kids are going to school. We're not ready for Christmas yet. That's insane. So donate some extra supplies for the kids, or even just leave a financial donation at Office Depot or Walmart. I am sure they'll be more than happy to pay it forward to the kids. And also this Friday, if you watched our show the other day, there's Beauty Bubbles and Bling at Lenore's Place down in Fort Lauderdale. It's all about bringing awareness to Dress for Success. So instead of bringing clothes for donations and instead of paying to enter this great event, they're just asking you to bring a purse filled with items, toiletries, makeup, things for women to head back out to Dress for Success, to get out to the workforce. If you're a teacher and you're a brand new teacher, they're going to dress you from head to toe with 3 new outfits for school. All you have to do is contact Dress for Success, and if you're looking for a job interview, they will give you a full outfit, makeup, hair, and once you get the job, there's a great employment pack they give you with a gift card for coffee, a gift card to head out to the store, Publix, just to get everyone back on their feet.
That's amazing.
Our community is fantastic. So that's at 3311 North Ocean Boulevard in Fort Lauderdale. For more information, you can contact them, Bonnie Posh, at 954-895-6601. So we do not stop in summer. Even when people get sick, we do not stop. We got a lot of things we got to get out. Because we've got a great network and family here, we get to keep going.
Oh, absolutely.
And Thursday night, Louise Gomez, congratulations to you. Her son graduated, and I had the honor to fill in for an interview on All Count of You and Your Doctor with Doctor, because you are. I have to. You worked hard for it. You deserve to be called it. Tracy Leschinky of NPTU. And we put your commercial together for Senior Strategy, so I knew the commercial, but I had never had really the honor of meeting you or interviewing you. What an amazing set of devices that you have, that you go to people's homes.
I do. I go to people's homes. I go to skilled facilities. I go to assisted facilities. I also go to the hospital 7 days a week, so I am working.
You are a certified nurse practitioner. What I learned on Thursday, certified means
that you have a board certification that allows you to bill for Medicare. And without that certification, those patients are not seen.
And that's what's so important.
Yes.
Now, let everyone know what's different. There's nurses and doctors, nurse practitioner. You have an umbrella that you get to do a lot more.
Correct. So we have the skill set of an RN, but we also have the skills that a physician has with regards to examining a patient, diagnosing, and treating the patient as well. So we get to bring the best of both worlds together to see the patient.
And you can prescribe some medications as well.
Yes, so we prescribe medications, we do different treatments and modalities for the patient to get them better.
But what's different about what you do, it's not all about prescribing pain meds. I know we were joking with Richard and Frank when you got here, but you offer some great alternatives.
I do. So as far as pain management, I offer injections that are ultrasound guided into the hips, the knees, shoulders, but I also do spine injections, ultrasound guided, epidurals, and then I also have a neurostimulator which can be programmed to the patient for opiate reduction or for pain relief.
They're all amazing. I don't know if anyone's ever had an epidural. When my kids were younger, I threw my back out. We were at Disney World. You know the bumper cars? My husband thought it would be funny to bump me. And that was after we had just laid like 10 bags of mulch at the house. So all that did was you needed that little extra jolt and done. But I had to go for an epidural. And back then there was no ultrasound guided injections. It was you hope you got the right spot. And even if the needle goes in the right place, you hope they get right in the right pocket of fluid, that the medication disperses in the right way. Now you have a way to really see it.
We don't, well, with the machine that I use, it goes down to the millimeter. And not only that, the machine that I use has a needle guidance system, so there's absolutely no chance of missing.
And that's the ultrasound is non-invasive.
Ultrasound is non-invasive. It's a diagnostic tool, but when I do the injections, it becomes my extra set of eyes, so I don't miss.
And you can do that anywhere. That's the beauty.
Can be done anywhere.
You go into senior facilities?
Senior facilities, homes, assisted facilities. Doesn't matter where they are, I go to them.
Knees, hips.
Shoulders, elbows, hands, feet. We do it all.
Which is incredible. Think about like your grandparents not being able to go somewhere and they're in pain, or someone's homebound, they don't have cars, they can't drive, right? And they've got an aide and maybe the aide doesn't drive, or the aide has a hard time finding their way, but your knee hurts. What about referrals?
So referrals can come from multiple sources. If they have Medicare with a secondary and they call me directly, I come to them basically within 24 hours. So I turn my referrals around very quickly. I also get referrals from primaries and other providers.
You know the amazing thing? I'm looking at you going, you're 65?
Yeah, I'll be 66 in September.
So you probably could qualify for Medicare.
I do have Medicare.
See, that's what's crazy to me is I always think, you're talking Medicare, I think seniors. And I'm watching Richard's body language, like lean in.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, you're 65.
Yeah.
So this would qualify you could qualify for this.
That's usually not something that I put out to the public, so
yeah, but it's not just
forget
me
that was it. No, I'm kidding.
It's not just me that's doing this. There's also primary care providers that will go to the home, dermatologists that will go to the home, eye doctors that go to the home. It's definitely something that's new and kind of old at the same
You have
time.
a question, Rich?
Yeah, you said something about
Neurostimulators?
Neurostimulators. Is that something that helps with regeneration of cells and stuff like that? Like, for example, say like shoulder pain, rotator cuff kind of stuff. Does it help with that kind of stuff?
It doesn't help with regeneration. It's more for pain control and opiate reduction. So if you're looking for regenerative type medicine, I do PRP as well, which is platelet-rich plasma.
Okay.
Unfortunately, though, that's not covered by Medicare. I know.
I can't even believe you're a
It should be.
The older I get, the more I'm getting closer to all of these things, and I can't believe I'm not even discussing like my grandparents anymore.
Yeah.
My parents, like here we are.
I know, but and it's funny because I certainly don't feel my age.
I'm going to say, nor does he act his age. So.
Yeah, no, I don't. I really don't. I don't feel it. The only time that I feel it sometimes is when I'm at the gym, and it's because I have problems with the rotator cuff. And when you're pushing a couple of 55-pound dumbbells, the shoulder's like, oh, hey, maybe position your arm this way when you're going to push.
And Tracy, you had mentioned you can help with frozen shoulders. Is that through PRP or is that through an injection?
So, PRP is done with an injection, but yes, frozen shoulder can be fixed with PRP.
So I'm thinking your rotator cuff could be helped with the PRP.
Correct.
Yeah.
And you draw the blood on site, you spin it on site.
And then inject it via ultrasound, so we never miss.
And
So
ladies,
that's kind of like, is that similar to like stem cell?
Actually, the PRP that I use is a little bit better than the stem cell. I give you a regimen to follow for a week before, which changes the consistency of the blood. And as I said, the results are amazing with it. Usually people like frozen shoulder, 24 hours, they're back to normal.
Really? Wow. That's
and
amazing.
you also do PRP facelift. So if you're not in pain, you just want your skin to look rejuvenated. The results you showed me
are amazing.
Incredible.
Yes.
Just
So
a
it's
couple
like-
days.
Couple of days, and it's like 10 times better than Botox or fillers because it doesn't go away. So people who use
You
Botox,
want her
it's
to check
gone
out
in
your
3
lines, too?
months.
Is that
He's
right?
like a walking case study,
Yeah, no,
Frank. Frank, thank you so much for bringing him in today.
I'll be a guinea pig. I don't get. No, I'm just like really. I'm just really hot right now.
It's warm. The lights
Yeah.
are warm.
I know male menopause. I don't know. It's like, I mean, it happens to men too.
It
Just
does, it
not to the same
absolutely
extent. But yeah.
So, Sally, what do you think?
I think it's amazing that you sat me right here next to you, and as I walked in, I had no idea what you were doing, and I said, I can't walk, my knee is, I just said that.
Right.
But everything else that you're doing is what I need too, so.
And here's the thing. Do you have Medicare?
Yes.
There you go.
Perfect. I go to you.
I need a referral.
No, you don't. Not with Medicare. I come directly to you.
Or to the studio. She can sit right here and, we can take care of you on site.
We all have Medicare here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You never
I
know.
should tell her my age, but I'll tell her later. 'Cause
Well, you're over 65.
I am over 60.
Okay, then that's all good.
But you look amazing.
You know what I usually tell people about my age? I say, well, I'm a little closer to 50 than I am to 40.
There you go. And Tracy, let's talk about the neurostimulator. I am fascinated by this because this is something so unique and different.
Yes,
that
it
you're
is.
not even injecting any type of medication.
No. And it's probably one of the most amazing devices that's out there. So as far as pain control and for opiate reduction, the worst success that I've had has been a 75% reduction in opiate use and 50% reduction in pain. Most of the people are getting pain relief that is lasting well over a year.
And this is like an auricular pins. There's a set of 4 of them.
There's a set of 4, 3 pins that are programmed to the patient with 1 ground lead.
And then it gets like an EKG.
Like
Gets
it sits
connected
right behind
your
the
neck,
ear.
And the wires go into the pins, and she reprograms your pain synapses.
Correct. And they go in 2-hour cycles, so 2 hours on, 2 hours off, and it stays on for 2 weeks, and the pain relief lasts well over a year.
That's amazing.
Could your device be used instead of opioids? Like when it comes
Absolutely,
to reduction,
it
it can be like
can.
a substitution for
Yes,
it?
it can, and I've gotten
wow.
people off of opiates with this device without withdrawal.
That's
So
amazing.
that's something that I'm like really excited about.
Do they stay on it while they're undergoing the change?
Like
the
coming off of
reprogramming?
opiates, that's when it's
So you lower the dose,
So
or do you
at-
keep them on it?
so
Because
I-
that's where that's where all of your certifications come in. Is you know how to.
correct. So
work with the
if
meds.
they're on the meds, the device goes on, and I slowly withdraw them from the meds during that 2-week time period. By the time the 2 weeks is up, they're off the meds.
Oh, wow.
So I just want to stress, you slowly withdraw under medical supervision.
Correct.
Never stop your meds because you want to, please. Even when you try anything holistic or a different change of pain reduction, always consult with your medical professional.
Absolutely.
I have to hone in on, Tracy is able to work with you on all of that. As an AR, I know they changed it, APRN. They changed all the initials around, so now I got to look. You're able to do all of that. And that's
Absolutely.
what's the most critical. Don't ever go off your pain meds or any meds without consulting your medical professional. And this you're finding a year to a year and a half.
Year to year and a half of pain relief.
Can you imagine? And it's covered by Medicare.
Covered 100% Medicare with a secondary. They never get a bill.
I have a quick question. Okay.
She's hilarious.
Have you ever worked with like patients at halfway houses and stuff like that? Because because there are a lot of people there that are with drug issues. And many of them on opioids.
True.
And so I was wondering, that sounds like it would be really helpful to help with some drug addiction.
Absolutely, it would. It helps if they have insurance because the device is a little bit expensive.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I bet.
But yeah, I definitely think if it was, I would love to see the company do
Something more affordable?
something a little expansive that they would
Yeah.
be able to cover this.
Yeah.
Because there are treatment options out there for them so that they could come off of medications.
Yeah. Because I've worked with some kids that have been on drugs and stuff like that, and wow, the roller coaster that some of these people are on, it's ridiculous.
And it's hard to get off. Again, it's not everyone chooses this, but then how do you get off of this roller coaster? And then a lot of it is, right, you're in this halfway house or you're in a treatment center. At Delray, again, is this mecca of treatment centers.
Mm-hmm.
Then what do you do after you leave? It's getting into that
Yeah.
right group of friends that
And
helps
that's the
facilitate.
biggest problem, is
change.
the friends. My mom used to tell me something all the time. Well, it was in Spanish. It would say, "Dime con quién andas y te diré quién eres." Basically, show me who you hang around, and I'll tell you who you are. And so, and it's like a cousin of mine. He used to do this these AA meetings, and he used to tell them, if nothing changes, nothing changes. And so that would be that's a great first step.
Yeah.
But then after that, you need to get rid of some people.
That's exactly it. And we
Yeah.
talk to Josh about it all the time, is sometimes you got to change your friends.
Oh, absolutely.
As much as you like them, if they're
Yeah.
not serving you in this journey of this part of your life, it's not easy.
Yeah, I've had to cut a lot of people out of my life.
It's not easy. But as an adult, we can make those choices.
Yeah.
But that's the big thing. They have to
Right.
want to make that change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What other types of pain does the auricular therapy help with?
It can cover wide range, migraines, pelvic floor dysfunction. So this fantastic manual pretty much will give me the programming for pretty much every health condition out there.
And then we talked about pelvic floor dysfunction and ED and bladder control. But you use PRP for that.
I do. So we believe in fixing that, just making it go away.
So for women, you tell me, because I said, I understand where you would inject a man for.
Mm-hmm.
But for women, for incontinence, you go right up.
Right? Through
right
the vagina?
up, right up where you got to go, and you said within minutes.
Yes.
Wow.
It helps them, it strengthens that pelvic floor area.
Which is amazing. You think about the amount Medicare doesn't cover
Medicare
PRP.
doesn't cover
But think
PRP.
about if you've got incontinence, what you're spending on
Supplies,
hygiene supplies. What you're doing for the emotional change in your life, not being able to go out as much. Maybe you're staying home because you don't know what's going to happen, or you don't play with your grandkids the same way. All of those life-changing events, what does that cost you emotionally and psychologically and physically versus this? You got to weigh your options, but it's again, it's a lifestyle. What does that look like?
Well, I also have, the ironic thing is with the PRP for the incontinence for women, the irony is that a lot of the patients that see me for it are younger, 30s and 40s, because they have children and they see that there is a problem and they're doing the Kegel exercises and it's just not working.
Have you seen these Kegel Center commercials on TV? You sit on the chair. Have you seen them?
I think so,
You sit
yeah.
on a chair and you do nothing, and it's supposed to help.
Strengthen the pelvic floor.
I don't know.
It helps just by sitting?
I don't know. It must make you. It must make your body do these contractions. Is all I can imagine. It must be like a lot over and over of Sally contractions.
No, I have a question.
Yes.
I was in a lot of pain about 4 or 5 years ago. I actually went for decompression, which actually worked.
Correct.
However, I think over the years now, I'm beginning to feel what I had wrong with me with my spine and everything. Don't necessarily want to go back maybe for the decompression, but what you're saying sounds amazing.
Yep, for the auricular therapy?
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean,
it will work for it.
Yep, great. So I don't know if decompression over the few years, it was about 5-6 years ago, I may need more, but I think I'd sooner do what you're doing. I was pain-free for 5 years, so hopefully now I'll be pain-free for the rest of my life.
Wouldn't that be nice?
How do you decide whether you're going to use the auricular or the guided ultrasound?
So it depends on what's wrong with the patient. So sometimes I use one therapy, sometimes it's a combination of therapies. It just depends on the patient and what they need.
And I'm excited that we did the interview on Thursday and you got a great response.
I did. I've gotten calls from multiple people that are looking for pain management.
See, that's amazing. That's when you know what you do is working. When people say, what's my ROI and how do I know and what are my numbers? So maybe you got 3 phone calls, but maybe those 3 phone calls have 500 patients that live in each facility.
Correct.
So that's why this business is so hard for me to give people numbers. All right, so you got 3 phone calls, and now you're going to listen to that. But you told me one place has like 500 residents.
Correct.
So now you've got the potential of 500 with one. So we always say to the crew, is it the right pair of eyes you want, or do you need 500 eyes? That's why this business is different.
Well, I also want to bring to attention that there are so many providers out there that are doing that, not just pain management. There are other providers that do mobile care. And for people that cannot get out of their home, there are treatment options out there for them.
But you're the only one within 250-mile radius that
does neurostimulators.
That's what you've got. You'll go. Actually, I have to introduce my brother to you. He's in Orlando. You go that far.
I would for something like that, yes.
He hurt his back. They can't find anything wrong with him on testing, except he can't walk.
Wow.
His MRIs are okay, and his facets are clear, except he's not on Medicare, but he'd have to be willing to. But if you're in that kind of pain, you got to say, I'm willing to pay for it.
Yeah.
Can the stimulators target more than one area at a time?
Correct, they can. So
my
there's
God.
3
Question.
leads. So if they've got 2-3 areas that need to be addressed, they can be. And the good thing with Medicare is that they cover it up to 3 times in a year.
Wow.
So if there is more than one treatment area that needs to be addressed, they will cover it up to 3 times in a year.
This sounds like ahead of our time. Like, this almost sounds like magic. It's just crazy.
The device has been out for over 10 years. I'm surprised that it doesn't have more, out there that are doing it. So it works. The results have been absolutely amazing.
I'm we're talking about a huge proponent of alternative care, and I go for acupuncture routinely, and that's what I find so fascinating. People don't realize the power of what your ear, really how it relates to your body. When they told me that the earlobe is like an upside-down fetus.
Yeah.
Which is your earlobe is like the head, and I guess then it works all the way up.
Correct.
With different, so you had to learn all different points of how that affects the body.
Yes.
And that's where these get positioned.
Correct.
Can I just say this?
Yes.
What is so sad is that so many things, especially alternative medicine, is not covered by insurance, and it's really, really sad.
Well, this is.
Yes.
So that's
I'm
kind
a
of
great
nice.
component of, for instance, what I had, the decompression, which helped me. They were ready to give me surgery on my
Of
back.
course.
I go for decompression. I don't know if it's covered now, but it was not covered. I had 5 months of where they stretch you slightly, and I was cured. Well, not. It certainly has helped me tremendously. Why do they not cover these things? I know it's a very broad question. But
It is, because there are certain things that they find that are covered and certain things that are just not covered.
But what makes sense is if something that is less expensive than surgery,
Correct.
they're going to be in pocket, right?
It unfortunately, it's
sad.
just the way it is. I mean,
Yeah. But thank you. I just wanted
You're
to air
welcome.
that because I have very strong views on that, right?
And the amazing thing is you don't need a referral. So if grandma or grandpa or mom or dad are in an assisted living or memory care, even independent living, they can't get out to the doctor or choose not to. You don't need a referral with Medicare. They can just call you and you'll
I
come
show
on
up.
over.
Yes.
All right, so how do they do that?
So they can contact me at 561-901-1182.
And what's the number again?
561-901-1182.
And what's your radius you'll go?
I try to stay in like a 200-mile radius.
It's a pretty big radius. That'll take you all the way down to Miami and then almost Orlando, I would think.
If needed, yeah.
Right, Fort Pierce at least.
If needed. But I've also had patients that have flown in from other states.
And I know you go to a lot of the facilities here because we
do.
were talking about where you go.
I do.
And how do what you do in conjunction with, say, a physician?
So-
So they've got a primary, say at a memory care or a SNF, a skilled nursing facility.
And
Why call you?
They call me because they don't want to manage their pain medications. And that's something that I happen to just be very skilled at.
That's the crux of it all. Because if you're following, we were talking earlier, you've got a patient that you've been following. She's in a skilled nursing facility, which means the doctor then taking over care has to, in all good conscience, now prescribe these meds. If they're a chronic pain patient,
Very difficult.
and your doctor feels uncomfortable, yet you know they have to for patient management, it's a whole lot easier to refer back to you to come in. This way, there's continuity of care for the patient, there's continuity of care for the family, and medical legal reasons.
Yes.
You're not worried about prescribing something that maybe you're uncomfortable with.
Correct. And that's what I do. I have no problem doing the medication management for those patients.
That's incredible. So when the patient goes to a nursing facility, can they say, listen, here's Tracy's number, she prescribes my meds, she'll come in?
Yes.
But do you realize how unique that is? Because that doesn't happen. Usually a patient comes over with their MARS, their sheet of medicines, and everything they've got. If they're lucky, those MARS come over. And then the doctor's supposed to say, all right, this patient is taking this, this, and this, if it's the right set of meds. But you'll come over and you'll help with that.
With the pain medications, yes.
It's a win-win.
Yeah.
And Medicare covers it.
And Medicare covers it.
It's amazing, and it's sad that it's not more well known. Of course, my feeling is, pharmaceuticals profit from you being sick and in pain, so why would they want to get the word out there?
But even think if you've got a patient,
maybe I'm jaded, but
if you've got a patient
true.
on morphine or oxycodone and they're staying on it because they're a chronic pain patient, but the new doctor is feeling uncomfortable about prescribing it because they're uncomfortable because these are pain meds.
Yeah.
Tracy comes over to see her existing patient and says, I will continue to manage this patient, Mrs. X, and give her meds that I know are working for her. And my name's already all over her chart, and she's comfortable. That's a tremendous win for a lot of these facilities.
Yeah.
Yes,
So we
it
have to get you to all of them.
That would be amazing. I think it would be so much better for the patients because then at least they know who they're dealing with
Yeah.
and they would have consistency and their pain relief would remain the same.
It's better for everyone. It's better for the facility because now you feel your doctors aren't feeling jeopardized if they're prescribing something that may not feel comfortable with, or the dosing on chronic pain because you build up this resistance and sometimes you're on so much, a doctor opens your chart and says, holy cow,
Yeah.
how could they be taking so much? I don't feel comfortable prescribing this, but yet you meet the patient and they've got MS or they've got chronic pain, they need it, but you've been managing them.
Yes.
It's a win-win, Tracy.
It is.
yeah.
It is.
I love what she does.
Oh, absolutely. And there's a lot to be said for alternative medicine. Last year, my sister was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer. And she spoke with her regular doctor, but she decided that she was going to go the Chinese medicine way. And through a series of herbal treatments in the morning and at night, a year later she's cancer-free.
Wow, that's incredible.
So, and she didn't have to go through all the, the chemo and the hair loss and getting sick and, all this other stuff. So, there's a lot of other treatments out there that are so much better for people. What you're doing is absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Let's just get it, spreading the word and getting it out there.
Yes.
All right, well, I think, we might become a treatment center here. For those of you who need to meet Tracy here, and you don't need a Medicare referral, you can contact her. Give out your number again, please.
561-901-1182.
It makes it so easy. NP to you. So find her on the web, check her out. We're going to take a commercial break. This is fascinating. More to come. We'll be right back.
Max Lazega creates whimsical and free-flowing interpretive art. His 40 years in the construction industry created the foundation for his craft. His unique work displays his view of the future with bold and playful combinations of materials and processes, but the methodology remains consistent. He fuses recycled materials and discarded building supplies into a fresh, well-executed approach. Lazega has lived in Miami, Florida most of his life, where he pursues his lifelong passion of creating industrial art. For more information, contact Max Lazega at artworkstudios.org or 786-326-8873.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call Low Cost Airlines. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call now.
Todo Bello Balloons is a business that was born out of a passion for creating unique and beautiful balloon designs, including balloon bouquets, balloon arches, balloon columns, and more. We specialize in creating unique and beautiful balloon designs that bring your dreams into reality. We believe that balloons have the power to bring people together and create lasting memories, and we are honored to be part of that experience. Contact us and we will bring happiness to your celebrations with our balloons.
Artist Rosie Sherman paints her passions to share with everyone. Expressing herself through bold and vibrant colors, her suggestion and style are always in flux. Inspired by travels, nature, romance, and the human spirit, Rosie makes sure her depiction of women are strong and proud. Her landscapes illustrate the changing seasons in the diverse world that we live in. To find her artwork in the multiple medias you can purchase, visit rosiesherman.pixels.com.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
I guess we're coming back.
The girl in front of me looks up, she goes, oh yeah, and the girl over here.
See, we used to have long commercial breaks, and now we don't even have it long enough for you to go to the bathroom. So how do you like hanging out here with us?
I like it. I really do. I haven't been like this. Like what I did for so long in school was like shooting intros and stuff like that. So I'm like eating this up right now.
Have you ever done this before?
Not like this, no. Just like 30 seconds in front of it, like a few times a week.
What are you learning?
From this, I feel like stage presence. Because every time I watch you and Freddie, it's like just so natural to y'all. And I'm like, that's what I need to be able to do. Just
but you're totally doing it.
I feel like I can do more.
I can't tell you we even do this in the right way, because a lot of the places they'll give you a teleprompter and you'll be reading a script and you'll know what you're talking about on note cards.
Yeah,
I didn't. We kind of just threw you in this morning and you're doing fantastic.
Yeah, because I got trained with teleprompters and I hate messing up with that type of stuff. So I would always do a one-take wonder. So either I got it the first time or I just didn't at all. And that's how I I got good with it. And then when people say they're nervous in front of the camera, the way I think about it is you can do one or two things. You can get in front and let like your nerves take over, or just don't think about it and just do what you have to do.
Right.
That's
like,
really it.
You just talk to the duck is kind of how we like to keep it here. And then you keep Richard and Frank here, and you're good.
Yeah.
It's always nice that everyone here adds extra questions, which is why I love what we get to do.
Yeah.
Because everyone has a different take. It's not just one. Like when I was with you on Thursday, it was just the two of us. This adds a whole nother component because people have different ideas and questions.
Yeah, different life experiences that,
Right.
you know, spurn different questions, and yeah.
Definitely keeps it interesting.
It keeps it interesting. And I have to ask Sally, you went away to Michigan.
Yes, I
You're
did.
getting ready for your show at 2:30.
I am.
And what happened? How was your trip?
It was phenomenal. I went to visit family that I had not seen in many years, and Steve came with me. And they welcomed us. They kept telling us how much they loved us. And it really touched my heart. It was amazing. It was amazing.
And you hurt your knee or your foot?
Well, I don't know what I did. I woke up and I couldn't walk on my knee. It's getting a little better, but here I am. My show is all about nothing is coincidental, a very positive program that I have every week. And I guess it works because I enjoy
I'm happy to take a look.
Look, I got Tracy sitting right next to you. You can't ask for better care than that.
I never come in complaining. Have you ever heard me come in complaining?
No.
And I go in and I follow you in there, and I said, my knee is hurting me so much.
Well, the good thing is I can take a look and tell you what's going on.
And you're on Medicare, so she can even bill for the
Yes,
visit, and,
yes,
and you don't need a referral, so.
But actually, it's my husband. He has many more. Unfortunately, he has a lot of things going on. So.
But he's on Medicare, too.
Yes, he has. How does that work? You have insurance and you have Medicare because he's well over 65.
So Medicare and a
We'll kick
secondary.
in.
And
Okay, fine. Yeah. So I think we'll be seeing you
Okay.
for sure.
Sounds like a plan.
You gotta love it. So, Sally, what do we have planned for your show today?
Well, I don't know. I think maybe the topic still. I have Mindy coming in, so she may have some questions. It's going to be UFOs maybe again. I don't know.
Have we heard anything more that's going on?
Well, I spoke to Russ a little while ago, but I've been out of town, so I haven't communicated him. He may come. I don't know. I did tell him. He knows my show is every Monday. But call in with any question you want. You know, I don't like to know the questions beforehand, so if you're listening to this program and you have something that you want to talk to me on a spiritual level, or you want to know what's going on with your life, happy to answer it.
And we're going to work on putting your manuscript together for Frank, who's going to help
Yes.
you put your book together.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Waiting on her.
Great.
We're going to work on that and do some bullet points, Sally.
Yes, I actually do want to. My show this afternoon, I would like to mention Lynn, obviously, who passed a few days ago, who was my editor. But, you know, this is unfortunately one of the things that happens, and I'd like to dedicate the show to him, actually, just in the very beginning, because it's upsetting. But you know what? Unfortunately, and he was very aware of what he was doing and so wanted my book to be published, and we're going to continue, and Frank is going to help me with this.
Yep.
So here
Right
we
here
go.
waiting.
Now, this book is a little different than the first one. The Call Me Xena original was about your astro projecting and your interplanetary travels.
Right.
This one, part 2, what are you looking at?
Well, it's more actually beginning with my life, how it started in England and all the ups and downs that I had from about maybe 13 or 14 years old till I came here. And then I met, as anybody that's listening who may not be familiar with my show, I met someone here 18 years ago who put me on the right path. I was having very strange, what I thought, dreams, and my book will be all about that too. We have 1 year's worth of me talking, Frank, so there's a lot of things in the book that I'd like to help. I really want to help people to realize that, you know, I thought I was very alone until I had someone that helped me. And there are many people out there wondering what on earth they're experiencing. And I can only tell you what happened to me. I can't tell you. I know it's very real to me, and I have my proof from being able to paint when I had never been able to paint. So my message is anything is possible. Keep an open mind. Believe me or don't believe me, that's fine, but just listen to me, I think, to help people understand that this is a journey. And basically, I think that's what maybe my show should be about today, right?
That life's a journey. I
Life's
know.
a journey.
And we know Lynn is always with us.
Yes.
We know he brings so many people together, and he was such a great inspiration to so
Exactly,
many people. His
yes.
memorial service is on Sunday, and I can get you the address if anyone wants it. I believe, Frank, it's at 11:30. So I'll send that over to you as well.
But his work will continue as mine will too. So.
You got questions for Sally?
I think one that's always been like in the back of my mind, but I didn't know how to ask. How, like, I know that you pick up on what you feel, but how do you feel it?
Thank you for that question, but it's kind of difficult to answer.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily see, but I hear. It's a form of telepathy. You feel it. It's hard to explain telepathy, but that's basically what I have. And I'm also an empath, so I can feel what's being said to me. I can't even explain it. I know that I go with my first thought, basically. And I've been right, as you know, from my show for nearly a year now. We've had validation on that. And it's hard to explain it. It's very hard to explain it.
Yeah, that's why I've been like kind of, what's the word, like holding back from asking, but I've always wondered like, oh, like, how exactly does she do it? How does she like know what to say?
Well, I appreciate you asking me the question. Just go, I always say on my show, go with your gut, go with your instinct, but don't question that. Go with that first of all, like a name. I come out with names. I don't know what name I'm even going to say. And many times, as you can attest to too, Dawn, that people say, yes, absolutely. But once I put my mind into it, then I may come out with 20 names. That's not going to work. I go with the first one.
So she asks her collective, and we go from
and
there.
I get my answers, and now I'll have somebody else up there helping me, right?
I know.
Yeah.
I know, but getting your story out is really important. Just like when Frank got out his memoirs, important to get out.
Yeah, it's something you have to. It's something that you're tasked to do. It's something you have to do. You got to get it out.
Right.
So, I got it out.
You share your story. Like Tracy, you're telling me today, you can relate to people with chronic pain because you deal with chronic pain yourself.
I do.
And there are people that say, well, if you're walking around in chronic pain, how can you possibly want to help others? How do you keep going?
Because I understand what they're feeling. So who better to treat somebody who's in chronic pain than somebody who has it?
Become more empathetic for what it is.
I am, and I understand what their families are going through. It's not easy to watch someone you love be in pain.
Which is true. And someone will say, well, you know how hard it is for me to watch you. Well, try being it on the other side.
But if you can make them better, it makes the world a difference for them and their family.
That's true. Because it's not just one, it affects everybody. Which is why I think the incontinence piece is so important also. You know, chronic pain changes your mindset.
It does.
Because pain is not just pain. Pain changes everything. It changes your ability to go out. It changes you wanting to go out. Do you even have the desire to do anything? And then you're home, and then your significant partner, if you're living with someone, do you go out? Do you not go out? And how long can you just stay home? You're shaking your head. You can relate to this?
Even temporary pain. You know, like when I get a toothache, I want to like just run face first into a brick wall because it's terrible. I don't want to do anything. So I can only imagine, you know, dealing with chronic pain. Ooh, yikes.
I know.
Yeah,
Friday
that's gotta
night,
be
I bit
tough.
into a Chinese noodle. You know the little ones that come with soup? And I don't normally even eat Chinese food. I'm like, all right, it's Friday night. And I thought the noodle went into my gum. I found the next morning, I just so inflamed. I had cracked the tooth in half, like straight up in half. So I found an emergency dentist yesterday. He removed the piece and he's like, well, you either need an implant or we're gonna have to do some bone grafting to make your bone strong enough to attach your crown. And the thought of even doing it, so I haven't even called the periodontist because then Freddie got sick. So I'm like, nope, not going. Forget it, I'm not going today. I go, how long can I go without going in? Fortunately, though, I have a root canal, so it doesn't hurt. He goes, the good news is the reason it doesn't hurt is because you already had a root canal on that tooth. Yeah. But I guess the downside is they already pulled out the root and enough stuff, I guess, weakened it. So no matter what I ate was going to crack the tooth.
Oh, wow. Oh, that just gave me chills.
But then I thought of you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, if Alisa can get through it.
Yeah. That was awful. Like, all I can remember is the day after that I got my mouth worked on. It hurt so bad, like I couldn't even move my body.
I know, you came in, you were like green.
Yeah, because I didn't want to like, I'm like, I'll be fine, like I'll take it easy. I go out on a shoot, come back in, and oh my gosh, it was a done deal. I just felt awful afterwards.
Yeah, Sally, you never say anything about pain. We just got to give you more coffee, is what I think. How you doing on that coffee? I know Freddie wasn't here to make it.
I try to. It's fun. You know, with pain, it's hard to take it out of your mind because it's a constant, and that's what I felt. And I'm pretty positive. I talk very positive on my show, but when I get something wrong, even this knee, although it's not bad unless I'm walking on it, and it's a little better today, but it's always in your mind. It's foremost before anything. So what you're doing, and I can't tell you enough, I think it's amazing.
Thank you.
Freddie's comment about Stuck in Traffic, about the movie that we saw for Sound of Freedom. Too much money in this country is being spent, and they don't like to expose children's problems in the theaters. I guess that's true. Everyone's spending money to hide these things.
And it's crazy what some of these moviegoers are experiencing in theaters. They turn off the air conditioning in a theater where the movie is playing. They have problems with sound. It's the whole thing is just crazy. It's a battle that's going on. I personally believe it's a spiritual battle. You know, and it's just people don't want it being out there.
So imagine when you bring it to light right into the United States, how that's going to touch so many people.
Yeah, it's gonna hit a lot of nerves.
Because like you said, people don't think.
Yeah.
It's like even when COVID happened, when it was started in Europe, oh, it's not coming here. I'm going to be fine.
And then 4 or 5 months later, we're in lockdown all summer, basically.
You know, people are people, and
Yeah.
children are God's children. You forget the innocence of children.
Yeah, and it's like you said, you know, a lot of people think, oh, it's not going to happen to me, but you never know what's going to happen to you. I never thought that violent tragedy would ever happen in my family, but 16 years ago, my niece was murdered by some guy that felt rejected because she didn't want to date him. You know, and you think, holy, you know, no, that would never happen in our family.
Wow.
But you know, stuff like that can happen to anybody at any time. And I think you also said this, you know, about people being arrogant to a point where, you know, no, nah, come on, that maybe that'll happen in those countries. But we've got the biggest market in the world here in the U.S. We're the largest consumers.
See, that's what's so crazy to me, Frank. When I found out, I guess since I've been working with Freddie, we interviewed someone, that Broward County Plantation, where I grew up, not too far from where you are, is like number 2 in the country for human trafficking. Oh. And I thought, right, high socioeconomic community, beautiful town, everything, but I guess that is what everyone wants. There's a higher socioeconomic opportunity. It's beautiful. It's Florida. To think that this is happening to our kids right here in our own backyard, it's devastating. Literally in our backyard, which is why we have to get this book out, you guys. We have to get to the books out, the movies out, and spread it by word of mouth, just like not Stuck in Traffic, Sound of Freedom is.
Yeah.
You got to spread the message.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, so we're looking now for somebody that will help us with the production of this film. Right now, I mean, we don't have any funding for it, so we're hoping that we can get the right people that will take it on as a passion project, that will bring in investors so we can get this out there. You know, we would love to get a good line producer, you know, to put the budget together and everything else. We'd love, you know, a production company that is willing to, you know, make their money on the back end.
Right.
You know, so if there's anybody out there that is willing to help us get the message out, please.
And we also
let us
have
know.
someone who is willing to help search for funding as soon as we can get a line producer and a pitch deck, and we have someone who says they will take it on and get us funding. So
yeah,
it's a lot of stuff, but it's an important message to get out. Now, you were working with somebody you had met here.
Yes. Unfortunately, he has so much on his plate right now. that he can't. He sent me an email apologizing. Rich, I'm sorry. It's just I've got like 6 different projects that I'm working on right now, and I can't dedicate the right amount of time. He wants to, but he wants to do it right.
It has to be
also. And I you can't have somebody that is going to be half-hearted about it, and he doesn't want to do that to us. He thinks it's an important message, and he wants to do it the right way.
You got on-location shoots. You can't do it in a studio. You have to be someplace. You have to do it. You have to do it the right way.
Yeah, absolutely. And for that we need the budget. I need to go through the script and start. How many locations do we have, and how many extras, because all those things affect the bottom line. The more locations you have, the more expensive, something. A film project becomes.
Important story.
Well, what can we do in a studio, as opposed to being on location? All these things go into it.
And everything can be filmed right here.
Yeah.
Right in Fort Lauderdale. We don't have to travel anywhere. Everything can be filmed right here.
Yeah.
Which would be great.
Yeah.
Bring the films back to Florida. And in school, did you learn film as well?
The very, very bare minimum. It was either a film editing class or like a regular video editing class, so I learned like the baseline of editing. That's about it. Everything else was either learning news and TV production or working on social media stuff.
There's a lot of social media kids out there.
Oh, yeah.
That have learned social media. Do you think this was a good major for you, social media, or is it just saturated?
I want to say it's saturated because I did get a multimedia journalism degree. I knew that I was going to have to learn everything. Sometimes I think that it strayed too far away from journalism and focused more on like marketing and all that. I'm like, okay, like that's great, like, because now I know so much that I can do, but sometimes I really do wish that my school was a little bit more journalism based.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
It's a tough field.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I know that wherever I end up in my career, that it's not going to be easy.
But you're doing great. Yeah. We threw you in here, and I told her who was coming. You did your research, and that's all you can do.
Yeah.
But businesses need people like you.
They do.
Like Florida Arts Network.
Yeah, how was the picnic?
It was good. It was good. We had, what was it? Maybe
25,
30 people
30
there.
people.
That's nice.
So it was a nice little group. I got to throw a frisbee around for a while, which I hadn't done in who knows how long. Did a little run around and stuff like this, and it was hot that day, and it was, it was outside.
Great food.
Oh, the food, marron. To borrow a phrase from you, it was amazing. The chicken parm.
Oh, unbelievable.
Oh,
and it's a
to
good park.
die for.
It's got it's a public park, Sunrise Public Park, and on one side they have like a splash pad, splash park for kids, and a little city set up. The kids can drive around their bikes, in a little city, and it was neat. They have a lake there. They have a dog park there.
Yeah.
I wanted to go. I was in the depths of moving my daughter, so.
I know, you were in moving hell.
I also apologize for not being there. We were in Michigan.
You were in Michigan. You were away.
So you could have driven down and then driven back.
Well, I would have thought you'd stay a little longer in Michigan.
But going back to what you do, I mean, so many. Frank and I have talked about, trying to find an intern for social media marketing, for Florida Arts Network, because, I mean, who better to help get the word out? It's a necessity for any business now.
It's a necessity, but then you think how many kids come out with this major? It's a necessity for business, but does it really serve you as a career base is more of what I'm thinking. For the amount of money that you spent to go to this school, is it going to justify, did the means justify the ends as far as career?
It depends how big I were to get. I know some journalists and anchors, they make maybe $40,000 a year. But like the really, really big ones, like they're bringing in the big money. And while I was in school, I was like seeing like the most competitive fields. And apparently medical, law, and journalism are the top 3 most competitive. And I'm like, great, I'm literally going to have to fight to like get to like where I want to be.
So
But,
you have
know-
to kind of at least get a master's or something. Is that
Yeah.
what you're saying? Or to really?
A master's would be helpful, but it's not mandatory if you want to say. It would make me stand out more and just show that like I know more than anyone probably sitting next to me. But at the same time, journalism was such a last-minute major decision for me. I took chemistry in high school, nearly failed it, so my dreams of being a surgeon went right out the window. So for 3 years in high school, I was like, okay, well, like, what am I gonna do? Like, I don't know what. And I took my first journalism class, and I was like, okay, I'm not horrible at this, so I went into it for college, and it worked out really well.
But all growth comes from things that aren't easy. Look, wasn't it Coach Bolstra, Josh? He started as like in the balls or camera assistant
technician or something like that.
right? He worked his way up. The Miami Heat Bolstra, he like started at the bottom, and now look at him.
Yeah.
But a lot of tenacity, a lot of learning and going and growing, and now look where he's at.
It's crazy.
And I think that happens a lot. But I was watching the news last night, and I guess the reporters now go out with and make their own packages. I think they set up their own camera. They do their own mics. She had on a lavalier. It was this big. It looked like your mic, Frank, that you're holding. And I'm looking at her, and I'm thinking, who let her go out with a lavalier like that? It was and then you could see the wire coming out, and I thought, they should only be watching our show, because I can't even imagine sending any of you guys out with a lav that looked like this. And then she had her guest or interviewee mic'd up with the same lav, and I thought she didn't even have two. So all she could do was shake her head while they talk. And this was regular news that you see on TV, and
Yikes.
it's tough because I think to pay people and to get a crew to go out anymore, they don't. So I think they send the reporters out with their own camera or their phone and a tripod. You edit it, you put the package together, and then you send it in, which is why I tell you guys all the time, the more you learn here, the more marketable you are.
Yeah, that's exactly how I learned to do it in school. I would either have a group, and if we didn't have cameras, we just used our phones. We would go out, find people to interview, and then in the span of like a day or two, have it edited and turned in. Because at one point, I would only have 2 to do a week, and I would get 3 or 4 more thrown at me, and I'm like, okay, great, there goes like all my free time.
But you learn it. That's why I wanted you guys to learn the remote pack also, because even if you don't know it on your own, like Josh, if 2 or 3 of you work it together, you know that you can still get the job done.
Yeah, and doing it more, it'll become muscle memory, basically.
So apparently it's going to be more, because I've been getting texts from Freddie that Gypsy Nation, we're going to be doing one at Gulfstream Park. We're going to be take it on the road. We just need to get approval from Gulfstream so we can stream it out to everyone. That's with Georgie Liccato, so that'll be September 3rd, I believe, on a Sunday. And I think there's one in Fort Pierce, he says, on August 20th.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things happening. Plus, we're working with Rochelle in the movies of Delray to bring some music venues there, like we did JC's.
That was actually
But now in
really
the bigger
fun.
theater with more surround sound and a bigger stage and removing some seats. I know you want to be there, and we're going to get you guys there. So if we can put a lot of these pieces together like a puzzle, it'll be great, fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
And then you'll learn a lot more. All right, let's take a commercial break. More to come on the other side of this break. 888-994-4995, Studio A. It's only Monday.
It's only
Monday. What a weekend. And a broken tooth. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Do you have a car sitting around you want to get rid of? Well, here's a great idea. Donate your car now to help local veterans in your area. Yes, just make one fast call to the Veteran Car Donation Program. Within a few days, we'll come and remove your car for free. You can donate any car in any condition. We'll use our vast network to sell it. The proceeds raised go to help local veterans and their families. And you get a tax deduction. And all you need to do is make this free call. Clean your yard up, get rid of an old car, and help the vets. We make it easy. Make this free call now. Book your fast and easy pickup. Call the Veteran Car Donation Program now.
Has your heater or air conditioner busted? Appliance broken? Computer crashed? Then you need an ARW home warranty. Home system and appliance repairs and replacements can cause stress and cost you thousands of dollars per year. With an A-plus BBB rating and a top-rated home warranty company on Consumer Affairs and Trustpilot, ARW Home provides superior service, featuring the industry's lowest service call fee. ARW Home has warranty plans that cover your kitchen and laundry appliances, heating and air conditioning systems, electrical and plumbing systems, and much more. Call 800-235-1584 to customize your plan. Plus, ARW has partnered with Azurian to protect your new and used tablets, laptops, TVs, and other home tech from accidental damage and wear and tear. All plans come with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Call 800-235-1584 now for a free quote. That's 800-235-1584.
I am a non-attorney spokesperson representing a team of lawyers who help people that have been injured or wronged. If you've been involved in a serious car, truck, or motorcycle accident or injured at work, you have rights, and you may be entitled to money for your suffering. Don't accept an offer you get from an insurance company until you talk to a lawyer, and we represent some of the best personal injury lawyers you can find. Tough lawyers that will fight to win your case, and they're so good they stake their reputation on it by only getting paid if you win. So if you've been in a serious car, truck, or motorcycle accident or hurt on the job, find out today for free what kind of compensation you may be entitled to. Call the legal helpline right now.
800-796-1182. 800-796-1182. 800-796-1182. That's 800-796-1182.
If you've been injured in an accident that's not your fault and you don't have an attorney, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions and tell you what your case is potentially worth. Hi, I'm Gina, along with spokesman Rob. So, Rob, tell the folks at home who should call right now.
Just like you said, Gina, anyone who's been injured in an accident that was not your fault, you don't have an attorney, give us a call right now. We're going to answer all of your questions, and we'll let you know what your case is potentially worth.
Thanks, Rob. You heard it, folks at home. Pick up the phone, call now.
Welcome to AMP2 TV, the first and only internet production company that's truly plugged in. When you're looking for a full-service internet radio, TV production company, discover AMP2 TV. AMP2 TV is a full-service media company that can provide all streaming videos, video studios, radio studios, and television studios. Call us today at 866-224-5422, for no business is too small to grow to be accounted. It's time for your message to be seen. Let AMP2 TV help get you there.
This portion of today's show is brought to you by the Brooklyn Cafe Show Coffee, made with organic Arabica beans.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Was a noise from somewhere deep. We heard the sound, it was bittersweet. Voices calling out from an aching heart, getting so much closer. We're staying apart, singing a song of hope and love that you heard when I heard. I feel what you feel. We will survive. We will stay strong. Love is the word, and hope is the song. The streets are empty, the sky is clear. You want somebody and can't have them near. Taking shelter where you can when the world is at stake. Alone together, trying hard not to break, singing a song of hope and love that will heal. You hurt when I hurt, I feel what you feel. We will survive, we will stay strong. Love is the word, and hope is the song. Song for the lonely, the tired and the weary. A song for the broken, the mighty. Can you hear me? Get beyond our pride and greed. Share everything that we need. We won't be ignored. We will be restored. Singing song of hope and love that will heal. You hurt when I hurt, I feel what you feel. We will survive, we will stay strong. 'Cause love is the word, and hope is the song.
Welcome back again.
You're doing a fantastic
Thank
job.
you.
So thank you for filling in for Freddie today. Tracy, thank you so much for joining us.
Be here.
It has been such a pleasure. I don't think people realize what they need until we give them the education of what's actually out there as options. And no one should suffer in pain. And there are other ways that you don't have to suffer. And if you're on a lot of meds and you're being followed by Tracy, and let her come out to your facility where you are. If you get sick, you go to the hospital or a senior facility. She's more than happy to come over and help you do that. And this neurostimulator, I know you're working with Sally, and you guys have a whole lot of things going on over there.
Busy putting my phone on everything away.
The ultrasound-guided injections, you offer so many great support modalities for people.
I do, and it's definitely to keep the population happy.
It is a pleasure. Let's give out your number again.
Phone number for my office is 561-901-1182.
So more to come, and she can treat you here. It looks like she's talking to Sally. Sally, we got your show coming up today at 2:30.
My show is at 2:30, it's 3:30, call in. And you know I never remember the number.
I know. 888-994-4995 Studio A. Call Me Zine is coming live to you at 2:30. So we'll see what's going on in the alien realm.
Thank you,
Spirit
Dawn.
guides, any questions you have for her for now, for the future, just she gets connected and we'll get her situated in a little bit. And Frank and Rich, what do you have coming up on Thursday?
Yeah, Thursday we have our show, The Artist Loft, and it's going to be live.
Where are you going to be?
You know, at
Sunscape.
Yep, we're going to be at Sunscape.
We will probably be interviewing more than one artist there, and we'll have a lot of fun.
Yeah,
So
and then
Frank-
we have an event coming up on September 6th. It's a rooftop at the Pier 6 rooftop
In Pompano.
on Pompano
Free event?
Beach. Yeah, it's a free event, and we're celebrating my birthday that day also. So that'll
What
be
kind of
fun.
event? What do you guys, what is it?
It'll just be a networking event, meet and greet, enjoy the view, enjoy
Oh,
the
the view is
refreshments, enjoy the people.
amazing. Oh.
Nice.
It's a rooftop
that a Wednesday?
venue on
It's on a
Pompano
Wednesday,
Beach
yes.
Okay.
At the
Yeah.
Hilton Hotel.
And
Beautiful.
it's right on the beach. Beautiful. The
There's
view
no cover
is-
to get
is
there.
amazing.
There's no charge to get in. You just they have their own dedicated elevator in the lobby. Takes you right to the roof.
Yeah, and there's a parking garage one block over, which is really reasonable. It's like $1.50 an hour or something. You know,
Nice.
it's really cheap.
And they have a retractable awning that goes over the front, over the
top
of
of
the
the-
rooftop. So
Oh, wow.
it's rain or shine. If it starts raining, they just close the awning up and we're
and
outside.
They open up a bar just for us, so that's cool. So it's a cash bar, of course. So yeah, it's usually a really fun event.
Nice view. I mean, the view of the ocean right by the pier.
Yeah, you got that nice cool breeze coming in.
It's all for Florida Arts Network.
Yes, that's with the Florida Arts Network, yes.
Fantastic. So check it out. Also, come Thursday night to Sunscape Boca Raton. You have the address there, Alisa?
I do. It is at 22501 Boca Rio Road.
So come join us. Have some fun. We're going to be there probably about 4 o'clock setting up. The event starts officially at 5:30. You can get your tickets, I love this, at tinyurl. So it is tinyurl.com?
It is.
/ expressions of life. It makes it a whole lot easier, and all proceeds of ticket sales go back for the Walk to End Alzheimer's. It's a win-win. It supports our community. It's a beautiful facility. I know Rich will be there, Frank will be there. Now Tracy's going to be there.
Absolutely.
Sally's going to be there spotlighting her art. I love that we get to network our network. One of the best things that we get to do here. You're going to be there.
I am.
We have a lot of other artists that are going to be joining us. So come out, support the community, see what we've got going on. And to our crew, thank you guys for all that you do and for keeping us going.
They rock.
Freddie, feel better. We miss you. We will see you soon, but we got to get you good by Thursday. So lots of Gatorade and do what you got to do. Have a great... More? You got more?
No, it was, you reminded me to say don't do it.
More to come at 2:30 for Call Me Zena. We'll see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. drive time. And
don't be late.
Don't be late. Bye-bye.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show's over, the Broken Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring you more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. We'll see you next time.